Live from the Connellsville Canteen, it's Late Shift with your host, Crystal Britt. On tonight's show, State Representative Ryan Warner, Director of Development for the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, SARA KACZYNSKI, and CF Warrior Caitlin Heinbaugh, featuring the winner of Stonehouse Idol Season 6, Byron Cooper. Now, here's your host of Late Shift, Crystal Britt.
Welcome everybody to the Late Shift. I'm your host, Crystal Britt. We have an amazing night lined up for you. We are filming live from the Connellsville Canteen. Tonight we are welcoming State Representative Ryan Warner to the show. That's exciting. Also, May is Cystic Fibrosis Awareness Month, so we have two women here tonight that are so very near and dear to my heart from the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, SARA KACZYNSKI, and also a cystic fibrosis fighter in herself, Caitlin Heinbaugh. That's so exciting. I'm so excited to have those girls on the show. Also, we will be taking a look back at the Stonehouse Idol competition with a winning performance from my man, Mr. Byron Cooper. But before we get into all of that, I just wanted to see how you guys are feeling tonight. How's everybody feeling? I am feeling great. I am so excited about this weather. Who is not excited about this weather? It's about to be summertime after the crummy weather that we have had. But I have to say, we cannot blame Mother Nature for the crummy weather. She was confused. You want to know why she was confused? She's not used to the Philadelphia Flyers playing hockey still. You know, postseason isn't usually something that they entertain. So, of course, the Pittsburgh Penguins, they did their job and got them out of there. So Mother Nature is not confused anymore. We have some great weather, so that's fun. Also, you know, if you know me, you know I'm a kind, loving, I'm a good person typically. I'm not a violent person typically, but I'm going to tell you what, if I hear one person complaining about the heat this summer or the weather in general, I'm probably going to punch you in your face. Let's just put it out there. Like I said, I'm not typically violent, but after the winter and the spring that we endured this year, I want nobody complaining about the weather. If you're too hot, go into air conditioning. If you're too hot, jump in a cool pool of water somewhere. I will be doing that possibly at the Connellsville Township Fire Department's Fun Fest on June 7th. I'll be at the Celebrity Dunk Tank, so you want to check that out. But no complaining about this weather. I'm excited for the warm weather. I'm excited for summer, but I'm mostly excited for this show tonight, so stick around. Welcome back to the stage. Would everybody put their hands together for State Representative Ryan Warner? Hi, Ryan. Welcome to the show.
Thank you,
nice
Crystal.
to meet
Thank
you. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. So, hey, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I am the state representative for Pennsylvania's 52nd District. I was first elected in 2014.
Wow.
Represent most of Northern Fayette County. Married to my wife Leslie. I have 2 kids. Yeah. I love sports and the outdoors.
Yeah, I did a little research I got on your Facebook. That's how I do my, and I see that you're a Penguins fan. How excited are you right now?
Very excited.
It's a great time to be a Pens fan. A three-peat?
Three-peat.
Maybe?
Three-peat, yeah.
Could you imagine? I have decided that I'm going to call them when they do three-peat and say, hey, these boys need the next year off, right?
Well, it would be so exciting to have it, you know, back to back to back. You know, the team they have is tremendous. To play the Capitals again in the second round has me a little bit nervous, but you know, I'm excited to root on.
I'm excited to put a whooping on the Capitals again. That's, you know, that's exciting stuff. So yeah, we're big hockey fans in our house. So you're a hunter as well. So how'd you do this season?
I came up a little empty-handed this season, but you know what? Hunting isn't just about getting stuff. It's about getting outdoors, spending time with your friends and family. We have a camp just outside of Chalk Hill, and there's between 8 or 12 of us that go bear hunting, deer hunting, So to spend time with my dad, just to be outdoors is enjoyable.
Yeah.
So it's not always about putting something on the table.
Yeah, fishing? Have you been out fishing?
I have. I just took my son out recently.
Yeah.
He got his first fish.
That's exciting. How old is he?
He is going to be 4 years old soon.
Is he
very
excited?
Soon. Yeah, very excited. Very
Yeah,
excited.
that is fun. Okay, let's talk about morels.
Morels.
Do you know about morels?
Yes, the mushroom.
Are we going to get some of those?
Yes, hopefully. We just had a little bit of rain.
Yeah.
The weather
right?
gets nicer.
Some
and
sun.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. We always called them murgles growing up. I don't know why my dad always called them murgles, but they're morels and they're wild mushrooms and they're delicious. Yes, they're fungus, but they're good, right,
They're
Ryan?
very good, very good.
Yeah. So you said you have a 4-year-old son. You have a daughter as well?
I do.
How old is she?
She is 9. She also likes to go fishing. She's
that's awesome.
Yeah, so loves the outdoors. I'll take her out mushroom picking too.
Yeah.
To go look for morels, just to be outside.
Isn't it great being a parent?
It is. It is.
How about your almost 4-year-old? Like the stuff that comes out of his mouth, right? Any funny stories from him recently? Anything that you can think of that just really made you think, I love being a dad to these kids?
You know, I can't think of anything funny in particular. I mean, he says something funny every day.
Yeah, right,
But
yeah.
every once in a while, a curse word might accidentally come out of his mouth. But
you have those moments where you like go to laugh, but you're like, I
No, you
can't
can't.
laugh.
You can't.
But it's funny, so let me turn around and chuckle.
I'd laugh and then they just say it more, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But, you know, just recently, a little guy was sick, and the spend the night, he curled up with me in bed all night, and just sit there and just to hold him tight. And
I think I saw a really cute picture on your Facebook of that. Yeah, that's precious. Parenting is awesome. So let's talk about your job. What motivated you to run for office?
Well, we mentioned my kids.
Yeah.
I mean, that was one of the biggest things. I wanted to be able to try to make this place better for my children.
That's
right?
awesome.
You know, you have to have a love for your community and want to make it better, and that's ultimately why I'm here. I've grown up and lived in Perryopolis my whole life, in Fayette County.
Yeah.
And I love the area. I absolutely love Fayette County, the surrounding areas. I love this community. I love Connellsville. And that's why I'm here. I want to try to make it a better place. And
well, I love to hear that as a resident of Fayette County and of Connellsville, to have somebody that is really rooting for us and making a difference. I love to hear that. So can you share some of your top legislative priorities for us?
So I think every politician's one of their top priorities is the economy in the area, right? Everybody wants to get better jobs, and we're fighting for that. And I think that we're on the brink of an outbreak here in Fayette County. I can just feel, especially in Connellsville. You can just, things are starting to heat up. You look on Main Street, and things are just starting to pick up in the area. So jobs in the economy are always going to be one. Now, secondly is, this is something within the last few years, 10 years, has really taken a huge impact, and that's a drug epidemic in the area. We have to take a serious look at this and do everything we can. Now, look, government can only do so much. I mean, there's only so much that we can do, but there are things we can, and we are making steps forward to fight this opioid epidemic. And my third legislative priority is government spending. I try to make sure that government spends our tax dollars the most effectively and efficient way possible, because hey, people are out there working hard. It's their money. I want to make sure that it's spent wisely.
Yeah, and recently you've come up with a package of bills to curb wasteful spending. You want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's correct. So this session, we had signed into law a bill that's called the Performance-Based Budgeting Act. Now, I introduced the House version, and Senator Mensch introduced the same version in the Senate, and just recently the governor signed that into law. Now, what this will do is government agencies will have to go through a performance-based evaluation, a review every year. So right now, basically what a government agency does during the budgeting process is they sit down in front of the Appropriations Committee, and they're the ones responsible for creating the budget. And they basically just sit there and say, hey, this is why we need more money. And we hear all the reasons why they need more money. But we're not evaluating or gauging anything else that they do. So this sets up performances. Just like anyone else would in a job.
Yes,
you say,
that's what I was just thinking.
Let's look at, what's the cost for us to do, personnel costs for us to issue a driver's license? And it may help agencies that may actually need more funding. This isn't just a reduced funding. You may have a spike in personnel costs that were due to pensions that agency has no control over, that's still doing their job effectively. So it's just kind of a way to evaluate. I mean, every business does it. It's just a way to evaluate what government agencies are doing and how they're spending our tax dollars. And secondly, I introduced it's a constitutional amendment to the state of Pennsylvania. It's called the Taxpayer Protection Act, and we just had it passed out of the House. But to become law, it will have to pass the Senate, and then next session it'll pass the House and Senate again, and then voters would vote on it. But what it does is it caps government spending. And the level at which it would cap it at is the rate of inflation based on a consumer price index and population growth combined. So if in a year population growth went up 2% and inflation went up 2%, the state budget can go up 4%. Okay. If it's negative, you don't go below. It would just, you'd have to maintain what it is. But it's just a way to keep politicians honest from overspending. Look, inflation has gone up like I think it's like 85. Our budget has increased like 85% since 1980. 85%.
Yeah.
I mean, that's ridiculous. How much money that we spent, and just the last 10 years. Our budget has doubled. And I ask people, 10 years, have government services gotten twice as good? Are your roads twice as better?
Wow.
I mean, because we're spending, we're spending twice as much money.
And I think, everybody, all of us taxpayers, we want to curb the wasteful spending. And I think you're doing really a great job in looking into that and seeing how we can spread that money, out further. So what do you consider to be some of your top accomplishments that you've made since being elected?
Well, I have to say one of the greatest honors was just recently Connellsville City Council passed a resolution to give their
share. It's amazing.
Yes, to give their firefighters and EMS providers a tax credit. Last session, I worked to have that passed into law to give municipalities that option, and to see that back home. In the heart of my district, to see Connellsville pass that ordinance, that you really feel like I made an impact. Like I did something for my community, for those guys that volunteer. So people don't realize how much time these guys give away from their homes and families, and the state keeps making it harder. They make training requirements. They have to do fundraising. So to give the guys back home an option for your local municipality to say, hey, we appreciate what you do.
It's incredible.
It's not a huge financial gain, but at least it's something to say thank you.
It's something to show appreciation.
It is.
Firefighters, they put their life on the line. Medical service providers, it's a risky job as well, and the stuff that they see and the things that they have to endure, anything to show some extra appreciation is well appreciated, I'm sure. I think that's incredible. Anything else that you can think of?
Well, I did my first, within 6 months, I got a bill passed and signed into law that was to help out the housing market. It was called the Permit Extension Act. It kind of just extended the amount of time that when someone had construction permits and different things, that they could hold on to them longer for financial reasons. But to get a bill passed within 6 months, to get the fireman's bill passed, some of the other great honors I have, I was appointed chairman of the Legislative Sportsman's Caucus. We talked about hunting and fishing. So to be the chairman of that and to get to interact on a national level with the Congressional Sportsman's Caucus is truly fantastic. The Speaker of the House appointed me a commissioner on the Port of Pittsburgh Commission.
That's amazing.
So I attend meetings there, and they're voting meetings on the impact of the rivers in our area. So it's a huge. I mean, I've learned so much just being a commissioner there. The impact and economic impact and viability that the rivers, the Yauk and the Mon, and have on our area. And being a sophomore and also being appointed chairman of the subcommittee on housing on the Commerce Committee, I'm just I'm humbled by it. It's just
That's amazing.
I feel like we've within I'm not even done with my second term, and I think that we're making headway. We're making progress.
That's exciting stuff. So, what do you see for the future of Fayette County and Connellsville?
I see a bright future.
Yeah.
I do. I'm going to tell you what, we have such we have such great leaders in the area.
Can
now.
I just say, Mayor Greg Lincoln,
Yes.
wow.
Great job.
I mean, if a city can have a cheerleader for their mayor, we have that
Yes.
in Mayor Greg Lincoln.
Yes, it has been an honor to work with Mayor Lincoln, and there's new blood of leaders in this area. You know, we had the same type of politicians, same type of people control this area for like 60, 70 years.
Yeah. So just
not
the
to say-
freshness.
yes, it's not to say that none of them,
No,
you know.
but it's good to have a freshness.
It's a different way. People are looking at things differently.
Yeah.
And
excitedly.
Yes, on the same page. You know, we're promoting our area. We're talking about the great things. You know, we had a couple TV shows. We did one here at the canteen to promote how great of a place this is in Connellsville. But working with leaders like Mayor Lincoln and others in the area, there's just this new, you know, breath of fresh air in our community that I feel. And look, we have a beautiful area.
Yeah.
We have great people. And now we just need some people to sell it. And I think we have that now. I really do.
Yeah.
So I feel so optimistic about the future of this area. I think we have a lot of great things going on. We have a lot of different industries coming in.
Yeah.
So within the next 4 or 5 years, we're going to see a huge increase in good paying jobs in the area through coal mining, through natural gas industry.
Yeah, love that.
So we have, then, you know, of course, we'll hopefully fighting for some ancillary businesses from the Shell cracker plant outside of the airport.
Okay.
Fighting to get 43 finished to connect to that and to the airport and to Pittsburgh. So there's a lot of hope out there. There's a lot.
Absolutely.
You know, we're not going to get there in a day or a year.
Sure.
We're going to have to keep fighting, but I see a bright future. I do.
So I'm excited about the nice weather. I keep talking about it. So summer plans. You guys, you do the beach, you do Disney yet? Anything like that?
I do the budget.
You do the budget.
We spend most of June in Harrisburg.
Okay.
Okay, we're there. We're scheduled for session every week. That's when we're supposed to finish the budget. I don't know why we have to wait till the last minute to do the budget every year, but we do. And it's pretty hard to plan a vacation because if we don't get the budget on time, then we're extended through July and August. So there are no big plans yet.
Yeah, that's how we are. My husband's a carpenter, so this summer is his season for work. So we don't really get to plan. We kind of just like, okay, this is when we go, fly by the seat of our pants, make the plans, and we go. But we try to get to the beach. The boys like it.
So staycations, right? In the area, there's so much great stuff here in the area that you don't realize that you don't get to see yet.
I'm about the staycation. I love a staycation. Yeah, I'll take a week off of work, and everybody like, where are you going? I'm like, nowhere, and it's amazing, right?
Yeah, just visit local places.
There is so much. There's a lot of nice things in our area. I know that the River Park now has a concession stand down there going, and just a lot of stuff. We've got the Froyo place in town, and I mean, you could do a lot. I'm a drive-in girl. You take your kids?
Yeah, I love the drive-in. Love it.
Ryan, we are really like sports, hunting, mushrooms, drive-in. I love the drive-in. We've been to the drive-in already this season. We went to see Rampage. My little guys fell asleep, which was probably good because it was kind of scary. But Infinity War, Avengers, or is he into Avengers?
He's starting to get into superheroes.
Yeah.
He likes, right now it's Batman and Superman. That's the extent of his superheroes.
How about your daughter? What's she into?
She's, she had the princess stage, right? I guess every girl
for sure.
She has a princess stage. Which,
she's a princess.
I always respected her because one day she could be dressed up like a princess and next she'd come fishing with me, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But right now she's into music. She practices. She loves the piano. She practices piano every day, and she's just softball's her thing. Like she looks forward, loves softball. And of course fishing. So that's kind of her thing right now.
And you and Leslie, your wife's Leslie, how many years married? I'm putting him on the spot.
8 years married.
Oh, okay, great. That's awesome. Well, thank you for being on the show. So nice to meet you. Thank you for everything you're doing for our community.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back.
Zoom from Armstrong, the area's fastest and most reliable internet, just keeps getting better. We're increasing Zoom 2 speeds to 300 megabits per second. That means more streaming and more downloads for more devices. And with those devices, you're going to need more data. Zoom customers, your monthly data allowance has increased to 1 terabyte and 2 terabytes for Zoom 2 and above. That's double the data. Visit ArmstrongOneWire.com/internet for more details. The future is faster with Zoom.
Welcome back to the Late Shift. Everybody welcome Sarah KACZYNSKI from the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation and Caitlin Heimball, a CF fighter. Hi. How are you guys?
Hey, how are you?
You two, of course, know each other.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Very well.
So glad to have you guys.
Thanks
I don't
for
know
having
if
us.
our viewers know cystic fibrosis. The month of May is Cystic Fibrosis Awareness Month. I myself have 2 children who suffer from the disease. So cystic fibrosis awareness and the foundation is beyond important to me. So I'm so glad that you guys are here. Everything going well? Caitlin, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Excited to be here?
Yes.
I'm excited to have you. You know I love you, girl, and you're just a fighter. So, Sarah, you are the Director of Development at Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. Tell us what that is.
So the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation was actually started by a group of parents back in the 50s, just some concerned individuals that were trying to make a difference. But what we do at our chapter is mostly through fundraising and through special events. Our goal is to raise money to fund our research and therapies and ultimately a cure for all those living with cystic fibrosis.
Yes, that's so great. So tell me, what inspired you to devote your career to the cystic fibrosis community?
Oh my gosh. Well, I sort of fell into the nonprofit industry kind of by accident, but I've been with the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation now for 7 years.
Wow.
And truthfully, it's because of people like you guys. I know it sounds maybe a little cheesy, but it's really the truth. Our fighters and our families, our volunteers, even people that don't have a direct connection, are so passionate about wanting to make a difference and find a cure, and it's really just become contagious. And so I get to work with amazing people. I get to be in different communities all the time and just see how CF really affects everybody that, you know, either suffers from it or is a family member. And so that to me is just makes my job easier and gives you that motivation when you're having a hard day.
I think Caitlin and I could both agree. We're so thankful for what you do at the CF Foundation. Like, it is critical for us and our families, right? So tell me a little bit about cystic fibrosis for the many viewers who are so unaware of what CF is.
Sure. So cystic fibrosis is a genetic disease. It affects mainly the lungs and digestive system, makes it hard to breathe. Mucus builds up in your lungs over time. It is obviously life-threatening, and currently there's not a cure. It's a very complicated disease. There's different mutations, and it's a very small group of people that suffer from CF. So worldwide, there's only about 30,000 people in the US that have cystic fibrosis.
Yeah, and that's what's crazy to me. Now, if you talk to me about cystic fibrosis, I can tell you so much, but when it comes to the science of it and stuff, I'm learning more and more. But the thing that's incredible about our community and our area, even though it's an insanely rare disease and only about 30,000 people in the country have it, we have over a dozen people that have the disease in our surrounding community.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting that I find now being a part of the foundation, you kind of get to know more and more people, and there's so many connections, you know, in that way.
Yeah, it's crazy. So talk to me about like the life expectancy right now for someone with cystic fibrosis.
So we're really proud to say that you know, when the foundation was first started, the average person with CF didn't live long enough to make it to elementary school, which is just crazy to think about. Now our life expectancy is 30s, 40s, beyond. And while that's amazing progress, we still feel like that's not good enough.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and so you know, ultimately our goal is, you know, a cure. And in the meantime, we're really laser focused on our research to provide therapies to address the actual genetic defect of cystic fibrosis, not just the symptoms. So that we can extend the life of people with CF.
Yeah, so there's some exciting stuff.
Yes.
So speaking of cystic fibrosis, Caitlin, you were diagnosed with cystic fibrosis when?
I was about 3 months old.
3 months old, okay. So they didn't screen for you at birth, they found...
My mother actually almost had me taken away because she kept going to the doctor. She was young, she was only 18, my parents were young. And she kept taking me to the doctor. There's something wrong. There's something wrong. She cries all the time. She's always hungry. She never stops. And he told my mom she was crazy. He told her that, you know, he was going to call the cops on her. Wow. I'm not quite sure how it ended up, but I was actually eventually tested for it. And that's when they realized that I had it.
Yeah, Taya was diagnosed about 2 weeks. They didn't screen at birth, but something looked weird in the placenta or something, thank God. Because I know a lot of the times before they did start screening at birth, it wasn't until you got sick that a patient was diagnosed.
They screened my brother immediately and my sister. My brother also has CF, but we have a younger sister who doesn't.
Yeah. Now, let me talk to you about that for a moment, having your brother Billy, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. What do you think about that? Isn't that like such a blessing in all of this?
It's a blessing, but it's also, I feel a curse. Yeah. Because I watch him get sick and I think, oh, I wish that was me instead. Yeah. It's really hard to watch.
You have that big sister.
Yeah. It's really, really hard to watch him going through a difficult time with his health. Yeah. And I'm not able to do anything. Yeah. But the flip side of that is it's also really nice to have someone who knows what we're going through.
That's what I think about Taya and Jacob. Yeah.
You can, I mean, as parents, you can watch and see everything. Yeah. But you don't know what our feelings are.
Yeah, I look at memes sometimes, and we're going to talk about that because it brings some fun to everything. But there was a more serious one that said nobody can tell you what cystic fibrosis is like unless you have cystic fibrosis. So the fact that you and Billy can relate so well to each other, and Taya and Jacob, it's like, you know, you don't want any of your children to have CF, but the fact that Taya and Jacob have each other means a lot to me as a mom. So just talk to us a little bit about your life with CF. Like, how many times have you been in the hospital? What are your health issues?
Honestly, I could not even probably begin to count my admissions.
You struggled from the beginning.
Yeah. I know there were a lot when I was younger. I went through a period of maybe about 8 years where I wasn't hospitalized at all. And since then, it's normally about twice a year. Yeah. It seems to be spring and fall. Just lung infections. We need IV antibiotics to clear that up most of the time. We try orals and try increasing therapies at home. But if it doesn't work, then the only option after that is to be admitted and do some serious IV antibiotics and lots more treatments. Yeah. So
Tay and Jacob hadn't experienced admissions for a while, but over the course of the last few years, they're once a year, twice a year. But it's amazing what some IV antibiotics can do for you, right? Yeah. So I know that you and Billy and Tay and Jacob shared the most amazing CF doc that ever lived there for a while. Yes. Dr. David Ornstein. We love Dr. O. Oh, yes. So I know that Children's basically had to kick you out. Is that correct?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, when you became an adult.
I was 21. Yeah. I think they normally try to start phasing you out about 18 and definitely by 20. Yeah. But I have a younger brother who was also with Taya too. Yeah, and I mean, we lived with our dad, and it was easier to just have one big long appointment day with 2 kids than having to split it and do one at the pediatric and then one with adult. So they pretty much ended up kicking me out, and my last appointment with Dr. O was very emotional.
Oh, he's the salt. He really is. So, have you experienced additional health issues because of cystic fibrosis?
Yes, I have kidney disease. I have cirrhosis of the liver, and I also have cystic fibrosis related diabetes.
Okay, and how old are you?
26.
26. I always say you're 24. 26.
That's better. I normally a lot of times get asked if I'm like 16.
Well,
so I'll take 24.
That's Taya. That's Taya. Somebody the other day was like, are you sure she's not 14? I was like, no. I said, one day you'll love that, sis. Like, one day you'll love.
One day. It just really sucks right now.
When you're young and people are like, are you old enough to be driving? You're like, I'm in college.
I did. I had someone stop me the one day. I was sitting in my car. It was a nice day, so I had the window down. And this guy walks past. He's like, are you old enough to have a driver's license? And I'm like, I'm like 22.
Yeah. Yeah, because weight is an issue with cystic fibrosis. It can be an issue. I know with Jacob, weight is a serious issue. Weight used to be an issue with Taya, but she has a feeding tube. Jacob has a feeding tube. So you can eat and eat and eat, and your body just doesn't want to absorb because your pancreas is so blocked up and doesn't absorb all that stuff. So
that and the amount of energy it takes for us to breathe.
Yeah.
We burn calories like crazy.
And what through a straw?
I've heard breathing through a straw. Yeah.
So.
I'm not quite sure how that works because I don't know how it is to breathe normally, but
I know, and I'm like, I think there was a challenge before where people were like breathing through a straw with their nose to just kind of simulate what CF kind of breathing feels like. So I know you brought your vest, your respiratory clearance machine is what they call it. We call it getting your stuff done at my house for the last 20 years of life. So would you demonstrate how you maintain this disease at home on a good day? Yeah. Okay, great.
on a good day, you wake up, I actually have a picture I sent you that I'm sure you'll use, but I have a handful of pills to take in the morning, oftentimes with a nutrition supplement just to help get those extra calories in. Check blood sugar, do insulin, eat breakfast because, you have to get all those calories in.
And all that medicine on your empty stomach is never good.
No, sometimes I really don't have a problem with it, but then sometimes I do.
Yeah, it depends on what you're taking.
Yeah. Oral antibiotics can really be not fun sometimes, depending on what they are and, if you've not used them recently.
Yeah.
Or, I seem to be on them relatively frequently, so a lot of times they don't bother me, but if we throw something else into the mix that I've not used in a while, I can definitely tell.
Yeah.
And then we do the vest. It's normally, they say about half an hour, but I actually ended up probably doing closer to 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
And then I do that, I think they recommend 2 to 3 times a day, but I actually end up doing probably 4.
Yeah.
And then if I wake up through the night not feeling good or coughing or unable to sleep, because I also don't sleep very well.
So 4 times a day at at least a half hour at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then we also do nebulizers. We do multiple nebulized meds. I do 4 on a good day.
Yeah.
That's just in the morning.
And the nebulized meds are to liquefy the sticky mucus. With cystic fibrosis, what happens is all the secretions in one's body is just extra sticky. So your mucus in your lungs, any secretions in your pancreas or even in your reproductive organs get backed up so that mucus, just when you get a common cold, it just sticks like a spider web and can turn into a serious lung infection. Like we spoke about earlier, the pancreas gets so blocked up that you can't absorb insulin and you can't absorb nutrients and fat from your food. And I know with the male population, the reproductive organs can get so blocked up that they are malformed. And, the inability to have children is a possibility with CF. There's a lot. Would you demonstrate the vest and tell us what exactly the purpose and the function of the vest is?
I put this
Can I just share with you the day we were able to get the vest was like a hallelujah kind of day, because tell them what we had to do before the vest.
And they did chest PT, which is, where you literally you cup your hands and you clap.
Forever, because that's a lot of
and I know you were in the same boat as my parents. You had 2 kids that needed it done at least twice a day.
I remember when Taya was a baby before Jacob, I had her laying kind of upside down on my thighs, and people were over at the house, and I was, and they were, and she was just so tiny, she was sleeping, because if you cup your hands, it doesn't hurt, and they were talking about me behind, what does Crystal do to that baby? And I'm like, keep her alive.
When I met my fiance, after a while, my dad and I taught him how to do it.
Yeah.
And
I think that's amazing, by the way. Shout out to Rain.
He was a wrestler in high school, so he was very used to the gym. And he did it. He's like, this is the worst arm workout I've ever had in my life.
It's exhausting. So when that thing came into our life, I was like, praise Jesus.
I do when I'm sick, though, resort back to having
I've seen you.
In addition to the vest, just because I feel sometimes I can feel where I have
getting
mucus sticking.
unstuck.
And I can have him concentrate on that area.
Yeah.
And help me knock it loose.
Yeah.
So
I watched a video recently, just because we're preparing for the walk and just getting aware and sharing stuff on social media, that a patient's mom always referred to it as ketchup in a ketchup bottle. And getting that like ketchup, you know how at the end where it's just stuck in there? That, and it was like from a different country, and they were asking, how do you get yours out? And kids would play soccer or jump on the trampoline or just different activities.
it's kind of a running joke with my fiance's family. It pretty much started with them. That, you know, it's called beating me.
Yeah.
And-
Well, that's what people said I did to Taya. She's beating that baby. I am so jealous of this really cool. Ours is a little bit older. We don't have the dinosaur.
Yeah.
We had that for a while, but
Oh, we
this
had the
one's really
dinosaur
cool.
for a long
So
time.
explain. So this is going to inflate
This
like
will
a
inflate
blood
with
pressure
air.
cup. Yeah.
And then I'll turn it on, but
Yeah.
it's a little bit loud. So it'll inflate, and then it shakes.
Yeah.
It pulsates.
Yeah.
So that kind of takes place of the clapping with the chest
Yes.
PT to help knock things loose.
Yeah, so when you get a blood pressure cuff put on you, you know it squeezes you. That's what this does, so that it can really shake those lungs. And that's
not
why,
to the extent
and
that
that's
it
why
gets
it
so tight
takes
with
a
the blood pressure
while
cuff,
for you to be able to do the vest, because when they're little, all that shaking can be really harmful. But when they get big enough to do it, you're like, yes. So, yeah, so go ahead and turn it on for us. I have tried this on, and it, like my kids, it's like nothing, because that's all they've ever known.
Right.
But when you put it on, it's kind of suffocating.
Yeah, I've done it before also in a demonstration, and it really opens your eyes to what people with CF have to go through every day, because you don't see it from the outside.
No.
You know,
It's invisible.
Caitlin is just
Yeah.
like any other 26-year-old
Yeah.
girl, but everything that she's dealing with is on the inside, and this is trying to help, and it's just so crazy the amount of maintenance, the amount of hours
Yeah,
that you
45
spend.
minutes a day.
And you're
4
trying to do other
times a
things.
day.
I mean, I can barely
Yeah.
remember to take a multivitamin.
Yeah.
So I think it's
Exactly.
really, you know,
Yeah.
eye-opening to know what they have to do
Yeah.
every day to stay, quote unquote, healthy.
Yeah,
for
but
them.
it is an amazing invention, an amazing technology that we have. I know that the kids' Dr. Fender says the vest is life. Like vest really clears out the lungs and gets all that ketchup out, all that mucus out. But I know Taya, like I've videoed her do that when she gets to coughing and carrying on, she's like, okay, get it away from me. So, but yeah, that thing is a wonder. It really is. Yeah.
You don't get a day off. I mean, you have to really.
I mean, you can get as many days off as you want to, really, technically, but if you want to stay healthy, and I know, Caitlin, you are just such a champion for cystic fibrosis, and you share so much of your life and so much of your experience with the public. It just blesses, encourages me so much. I know that, you know, you and I have bumped into each other at Walmart and have stood there and had 45-minute conversations. Or I'll be messaging her about, okay, this is happening, what's going on? Because we know each other, because my daughter and your sister used to be close friends.
Actually, I cheered with the same group that Taya did. So
yeah, Caitlin's my go-to. So back to you, Sarah. Now we know kind of just a slight glimpse of what life is like for someone with CF. Just like I said, slight. You know, there's nights where I'm sure you don't sleep because of coughing or, you know, multiple, you know, issues. But let's talk about the improvements in the medicine and science of CF.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think probably within the last, definitely since 2012, so you know, the last 6 years, has really been an amazing turning point for the foundation. We've had amazing breakthroughs in science and our therapies. It started with, we like to jokingly say a little blue pill, but it was a little, in fact, a little blue pill called Kalydeco.
Yeah.
What this therapy did is it addressed, like I was saying before, the genetic defect of a certain mutation of CF, which affected about 4% of people living with CF at the time. That therapy really just blew the doors open for us. And we really haven't stopped the momentum since. And so what we've been able to do then is to look at that science behind that and continue to just really modify and make adjustments. And now what's coming out is, since then there's been an additional therapy, which is actually, we call it like a cocktail, so it's more than one pill. That helps an additional 50% of our patients with CF with a particular mutation. And we are now projecting that by the year 2020, we'll have a therapy available for about 90% of people with CF. And it's really, 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 really an exciting time. Our focus, though, is really, we want to get to the finish line. We want there to be a one-time cure for all people with CF, regardless of their mutation. And so that really requires a lot of science, a lot of research, and then of course that in turn requires a lot of dollars.
Especially because why? There's no government funding for cystic fibrosis
right
now.
Exactly.
Correct?
And so the foundation really has a unique business model. All of the money that we raise through special events and private donations, we fund research for ourselves. So the therapies that are available for our patients, things like the vests even, just your daily meds, and now these amazing therapies to treat the genetic defects, that is all because of people like you guys, honestly, that are just out in the community and helping us to raise funds.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff. It really is. So share with our viewers where they can find information about cystic fibrosis and the foundation and some upcoming events that are taking place to where we could really get the word out about CF and raise some money.
Sure, absolutely. So we have a great website. It's cff.org, Cystic Fibrosis Foundation.org. It is really just a resource for everything for people that have CF and their families, but also just the general population that maybe wants to volunteer or get involved in an event or something that we have going on. So I encourage you, please check us out. Also, our local Western PA chapter that I work for, we are on social media. We have a Facebook page, we have Twitter, we have Instagram, so you can follow us at CFFWPA. And we post all the time and keep everybody updated.
And can I tell you, social media is such a wonderful outlet for bringing awareness and raising money. I think my Facebook page is my greatest.
Oh my gosh,
money bringer inner.
Totally,
for sure.
Yes, it definitely is. It has, and it's really, I think, also helped the community of people with CF to kind of connect with each other. Because it can just be such an isolating thing, and to be able to, connect online that way and virtually has been a really nice thing.
So on that note, do you use some of the forums, like the groups or the blogs or the support stuff?
When I was growing up, things were different. We were allowed around each other. We just had to wear a mask. So that we didn't cough and share our germs. I was probably, I don't even know how old. Do you have any idea what year that started?
It has been very recently, because it came out whenever I was working for CF, so I want to say maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. It hasn't been that long, but we say knowledge is power. So our foundation put into practice a policy to where we encourage only one person with CF to attend an indoor event, and if you're at an outdoor event, to maintain at least a 6-foot distance between each other.
There's such funny memes for that. As somebody
which is so crazy.
Like I just met somebody with CF, somebody that I could relate with, but I gotta stay 6 feet.
Correct. And so even like the hospitals.
If anyone comes to the walk, you'll see they send us the Cystics purple shirts. And you kind of get so caught up in doing whatever you're doing.
You don't really pay attention.
And you walk past, and you're like, oh crap, I just walked past so-and-so who has CF.
And it's hard too, because Jacob, he's grown up with Taya. They both have CF. So when he wants to hang out with his one buddy who has CF, I'm like, Jacob, you understand that's probably not the wisest thing. And he's like, I live with Taya. I'm like, well, we really don't have a choice.
That's a little different.
It's hard
different with siblings.
Because they do want to be around people that can relate and all of that stuff. So I know that we have an amazing event coming up called the Great Strides Walk for Cystic Fibrosis. I know there are walks all over the country. I know that you are ahead of 8 of them.
Yeah, so our Western PA chapter, we actually have 8 walks. We have a large one in Pittsburgh, but we have them in all the surrounding areas, and we actually even have one in Morgantown and Wheeling, West Virginia as well that we coordinate. All of those walks are part of the national effort to participate in Great Strides, and our goal this year is to raise $38 million nationwide through Great Strides. So locally here in Connellsville, we have a great event. We put the great in great strides.
Yes, we do.
But anyway, and this walk has just been really amazing over the last few years. We raise on average about $25,000 a year just here locally in Connellsville.
That's
and
amazing.
like I said, that all goes into that national effort. So it's really amazing.
Yeah, and over the last couple years, I know you changed it to Sundays.
Yeah, so the walk is on Sunday, May 20th this year. We meet at the Yaak River Park, Pavilion number 1, and we do a walk along the nice little trail there. We come back, we do a great like tailgate style lunch. There's activities, we have a DJ. It's just a really nice family afternoon. You can bring your kids, your spouses, your dogs on a leash, all that good stuff. And it's a really nice time. There's no registration fee to participate. We just encourage people to sign up and then work to fundraise, and then we have prizes.
So I have a team, of course, Team TJ, Taya, and Jacob, and you have a team. Share about your team with us.
My team is called the Tiny Heinies, just because my last name is Heinbaugh.
And we love it. It's
and you know, people with CF are normally very small statured.
Yes.
So I'm used to being called, you know, tiny. So it just kind of sprang up from that.
Yeah, so how are you reaching out to donors? Your Facebook page?
Yeah, well, we do a lot of social media.
Yes.
My brother especially. We have a team page set up through the CF Foundation's Great Strides website. So we just kind of, you know, just every once in a while do little Facebook blasts.
Well, I torture people's life, okay? I'm just saying, I blow Facebook up, and now I'm on Instagram, so I'm gonna figure it out, and I'm gonna blow my Instagram up, because it's so important. It's not government funded. So much of the money, right, raised goes straight to the research. So your money is going to absolute necessary places. Like we said earlier, we have over a dozen young people in our community and surrounding area alone that suffer from this disease, even though it's very rare. And the CF Foundation's Great Stride site is completely safe, 100% safe, so easy to use. You just go on Tiny Heinies, Team TJ, even the CFF.org. You can find a walk, find a team, donate, come out, be a part of the walk.
Absolutely, yeah. We encourage, you know, we welcome everybody. Like I said, there's not a fee to participate. We just encourage you to register online and fundraise if you choose to. You can also support the walk by supporting one of the teams, like Crystal said. And we really fundraise all year long, so even if you can just join us in May, but maybe you want to do something later in the year, we can work with you on that as well. But the walk itself is really a fun day.
We're so excited for the walk. Again, May 20th, registration starts around 11.
Well, actually we start at noon. We have our noon check-in, and then the walk is at 1. And then, like I said, lunch following, and we just kind of hang out for the afternoon. So it's a fun day.
It's always a lot of fun. We always seem to raise a decent amount of money, so that's exciting. We're so excited for what's on the pipeline. The pipeline is the new medicine that you can check out on the CFF.org page. If you're interested in finding out more about cystic fibrosis, please check out the website. If you're interested in donating to Tiny Heinies, we will post the link to Caitlin's Facebook page on your screen. And thank you, ladies, so much for being here.
Oh my gosh, this was so fun.
Caitlin, you rock.
You guys do too.
Sarah, what you guys do at the CF Foundation, I mean, what would we do without the CF Foundation? It would, it's so wonderful, and I'm so blessed to know you, and I'm truly blessed to know you. And as a CF mama, go out, support the fight against cystic fibrosis, donate, educate yourself, educate other people, and show your support. We'll be right back.
Armstrong would like to say thank you for your generosity and donations to our Healing Heroes initiative. With your help, we've raised the funds necessary to train 8 service dogs from Guardian Angels to be donated to area veterans suffering from disabilities such as PTSD and brain injury, among others. If you or a loved one are a qualifying veteran and would like to apply, please visit medicalservicedogs.org and click on Applications. Together, we can unleash the power of hope, the power of giving, the power to heal.
So welcome back. I decided that we needed to have a little bit of fun with Caitlin. You know, because I'm sure you would agree, life with CF, you have to have fun, right?
Oh, yeah.
And life as a CF mom, okay, I'm sorry, my struggle is not as real as yours, but my struggle is real.
I mean, honestly, sometimes you just have to stand back and just go, oh my God.
I know you have a lot of fun on some of the, there's a site or like a Facebook page where that's all it's about.
Yes.
It's just making fun and having fun. And she told me before, it's kind of dark. It can get a little dark. It depends on your sense of humor, but I have a good sense of humor, I think, anyhow. But I love this one right here because Jacob, like I said, he struggles with his weight. So this one about CF moms, be like, make sure you eat all you're doing. It's this colossal pizza you'll see. What do you like?
There's one, it's Stitch in the fridge. And they're like, are you eating again? And he's like, no.
Yeah.
Because that's like the story of my life.
You're burning up the calories. Your body's not even digesting all of the stuff. I love the one with the pharmacist. Are you sure you should be taking all these antibiotics? Oh, you have CF. It's fine. Yeah.
Yep.
So I know that I'll send Taya and Jacob. There is one on there that says it's like a pile of salt and says, make sure you put salt on that.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you what.
Salt on everything.
Jacob, I'm not even kidding. We go through salt, like Taya, not so much, but Jacob, we go through salt like nobody's business. And I'm almost like, is that a little much? And
I
he's
know.
like, I have CF.
It's like you're out to eat somewhere. You know, you pick up the salt and you're just salting your stuff like normal. And then you realize people are like, what are you doing?
Like, why don't you just take the lid off of there and just dump it on? But you know what? You guys go through a lot, so to have some fun with it sometimes is absolutely crucial.
You have to have fun with it all the time, I think.
Well, again, girls, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having us.
We are going to go to a clip right now. We're going to go back to the Stonehouse Idol competition, which was amazing. We had so much fun with it. This clip is the winning performance by my man, Mr. Byron Cooper. Enjoy.
I know we at Mike Woods, but to me it feels like Stonehouse in here today. No. I don't think you heard me. It feels like Stonehouse in here today. Yes. I'm going to change this bad boy up and do something. Somebody in the crowd, Mr. Brian's mom, asked me to do this song, so I'm going to change it all up just for her. Wherever she might be standing at, I'm looking. Keep it positive.
Here we go, sir.
Righteous Brothers. No screen. Oh, my love, my darling, I hunger for your touch alone, only time. Time can do so much. Are you still naive? I need your love. Yeah, I need your love. God's be your love to me. Ladies and gentlemen, please give her a round of applause. Lonely river soul to the sea, to the sea, to the open arms of the sea. Lonely riverside, wait for me, wait for me. I'll be coming home, wait for me. And oh, my love, my darling, I hunger for your touch. Oh, Lord, Lord, it's and time goes by so slowly, and time can do so much for you. Still naive, I need your love. Yeah, I need your love. God, speed your love to me. To me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.